I broke the #1 gardening rule and now it's coming back to bite me and I'm going to pay the price. In this episode, I'm going to show you what I did that was so bad. Don't do this. I'm Tony O'Neill and this is UK Here We Grow, and on this channel we deal with all things gardening, poultry keeping and beekeeping. If you want that perfect garden to relax in or want to grow your own nutrient dense foods, then start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified each time I release new content just like this. Now, when you think about gardening, there are certain fundamental rules that need to be followed. And #1 of that is that you need to water your crops regularly. This is really important to avoid stress to the plant and to allow you to get a decent bloom or decent crop. #2, you need to have really good nutrition in your soil. And #3, you need to garden regularly. Because if you're not there, then you can't control and see what goes on with plants and be able to take any action that's required. Well, over the last 8 weeks, I have broken every single rule in gardening. Not only have I not been making videos, I've not even been to my garden. I've not watered anything, even when we had temperatures of over 38+ degrees C. The only thing that I have in my garden after the 3 fundamental rules is I have good soil nutrition. Otherwise, everything else I have broken. So why have I totally abandoned my garden at the worst time of the year? Well, for that, I've had to deal with a lot of personal issues that I'm not going to go into today. But I'm going to take you around the garden and I'm going to show you exactly what happens and the damage that's caused when you're not following the fundamental rules of life in the garden. Let's start at the fruit section. Now, this section of the garden is totally swamped with bindweed and creeping cinquefoil. In fact, the entire plot is plastered in weeds. As you can see, this totally chokes out absolutely everything, and all this has been within the last 8 weeks. It's strangling out all the trees. You can hardly see a bush in here. All the birds have totally fed on all the fruit. It's a total nightmare. So this is the main part of the plot, and as you can see, this is where the wooden fence is, and this area was pristine a few weeks ago. All the lettuce has gone to seed, the beetroot, the beans, everything. All the onions have bolted. We can't even get up the main path. All the brassicas have all gone bolted. It's an absolute mess, you guys. And the thing that you'll notice is that although the wood chipped areas have been okay and they've fended it off a little bit better, that most of the other areas you can't even see any ground at all. And that's what happens, you know, if there's bare soil, weeds are going to grow in it. And I just want to show that it doesn't matter how much you garden, how pristine it looks when you're on YouTube or anywhere else, these weeds will come back. A clean garden just shows that the gardener is there doing the job. It's not something that is easy for anybody, but you just need to carry on working with it. Even rogue potatoes are coming up all over the place from where we ran the experiment last year. But now we're going to go and have a look at the tunnel. Well guys, David Bellamy, eat your heart out. It's absolutely a jungle in here. It's that bad. I've even got birds flying around in here. They've just used this as like a new home. You get in there and it's just canopy everywhere. And Sean, if you're watching, mate, you're gonna nip me on this chili thing, because guess what? They haven't even grown hardly anything, and that's my fault, and I'll take the hit on the chin and I will sort out these vouchers. You, my friend, have absolutely annihilated me this year, but good on you. Anyway, let's get back in here. But look at this. You can't even get through there. Look at the canopy. You've got to tutty down. This is an 8-foot tall tunnel. I'm tuttying down in here. We've got grapes everywhere, all along here. But let's go down. We've got cucumbers, so it's nice to know that everything hasn't died even though it's not been watered. The chilies are here. They've grown well. See the birds flapping around in the background and over our heads, and they can get out. There's a couple of poblano, and we've got some on the others as well. Maybe they'll grow to something. I'm not holding my breath, Sean. I think you really have got this one, mate. grapes everywhere, but because I haven't thinned them, look how small they are. But they'll still make a wine or something like that for us. We've got tomatoes again. So although it's drastic, we've still got, look at these cucumbers all going to seed. There's some others here that we can harvest. Any water left in this? There's a little bit left in this, so the bell peppers and things have been getting stuff, but look at it, you can't move in here. It's like a jungle. And this is what happens. Look at it, guys. Grapes everywhere. But you can't see nothing. This chili is falling over. It's too top heavy. There's a couple more on there. Really can't see anything coming of them either. More cucumbers here. So guys, these are my avocados. They're doing really well, and if you haven't seen the video for that, I'll put a link in the description. And so they're doing okay. Anybody want some grapes? Look at these. Again, they're only small because we haven't thinned the bunches out, but we can still eat them. They're just everywhere in here. This is an apricot tree that we've planted earlier on in the year. It's absolutely huge. So that's the interior of my tunnel. Now normally my garden is stunning by now and very bountiful, but sometimes things in life take priority and the garden needs to take a back seat. And that's what's happened for me this year. And of course I could have come up in the evenings and managed it and watered, but I had that many curveballs that life threw at me that I just couldn't be bothered. It broke me, and this suffered. So the garden did take a back seat, and I'm happy that I've done this, because it allowed me to be able to come back to it now and get it sorted out and move on. However, it's not all bad news. We will harvest what we can, and we will get to weeding, and once we weed the area and get back on top of it, then the whole ordeal is going to become a thing of the past. So this is what I wanted to take from this video. It doesn't matter how bad things get, because the garden's going to do its own thing. But there is nothing here that can either be replanted or nursed back to health. Now, I've made this video so that I can show you the good, the bad and the ugly of gardening, because I believe that that's important. It's not all pristine soil and beautiful harvests. From time to time you have to deal with things like this, and I want all the new gardeners out there to understand that it's okay for this to happen. Don't let it beat you up, and don't let anybody ever tell you that, oh well, you're crap because this has happened, because life is more important. The garden has to take second seat, and when it does, you come back and you deal with it. So even after the worst summer we've had, 4 weeks of blistering heat and then 4 weeks of rain constantly, life found a way. And as you can see, I've still got beans and other products growing, so it's not all a complete loss. And just remember folks, even the best gardeners have bad years, so don't ever beat yourself up if you have a year like this. I hope this video shows you that when things seem desperately negative, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Life always finds a way. Don't forget you reap what you sow. Right folks, I'm just going to give you a quick look around, because I've been working now since filming this morning, and as you can see, we've already ripped out all of the weed out of here. Started to lift the giant garlic. So although it looks dead on the top, the garlic itself is fine. We've got the onions now to pull out. We've totally stripped down these beds. I've got some small salad onions there that we've got to pull out. Even amongst all our weed, the celery is still growing. All the beets are fine. So we've only pulled out everything that's no good, or the weed. So we still got things that we can, you know, we can harvest here. Got some very large courgettes. And this is the thing, you know, life always finds a way. Look at this. You know, amongst all the weeds, it's still growing. There's beans on it. There is corn, despite the fact they've had a kicking. But, you know, the weed is gone already. Even on this next plot, we've got in amongst all of the marrows, and they are all doing okay. This was for a giant marrow, but of course I haven't been here, so this will be a write-off this year. But all in between it, it's all been done. I'm going to go through the tunnel here, all around here, all been weeded. All around the brassicas here have been weeded. You know, we are getting back on top of it, and this is just one day. The next plot is still a mess, as you can see over there, because that's all the potatoes, so we'll dig all that out as we go. Question of the day: how has your garden managed this year with all the rain and all the sun and heat that we had earlier on? Let me know in the comment section below, because I've really missed talking to you guys. It's something that I've really enjoyed doing. So please, let's start the conversation again and get the community talking again. If you've got value from this video, you can subscribe here. And if you've enjoyed this video, then you really should watch the next one here. With August coming, yeah, this one is quite an important video to watch, all about leaf mold. So watch that video there, because those videos are going to give you everything you need to know about leaf mold. I'm Tony O'Neill, this is UK Here We Grow, and remember folks, you reap what you sow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.